Alright, what is up, guys? I am going to be starting my show here, Taking It to the Top Lane, Episode 3, sponsored by Alienware, and today's episode will be focused around Elise, one of my favorite champions in the game. She is called the Spider Queen, a master of tricks and disguise, and she has a lot of damage and a really cool kit. So I'm very excited to tell you guys about Elise and all about how to play her today. She hasn't been banned yet, so hopefully I can get her in the rotation. Please. Alright, so we're going to be trading for Elise. Anyway, so Elise, the champion, she has two forms. Similar to Nidalee and Jace, her ultimate, or not Nidalee, but Jace, her ultimate is available from level 1. It allows her to switch from spider form into human form and back again. It's only on a 4-second cooldown, and every time she switches forms, she gets a whole new skill set available to her. So in human form and range form, she has Neurotoxin, which is a long-range nuke. It allows her to apply base damage plus a percentage of the enemy's max health every time you target someone with that, and you can chunk them very hard. It's like her main harassing ability in the laning phase, so it's very nice to have. Her volatile spiderling, again in ranged form, it sends out basically a spider that has a mind of its own. It goes for the closest possible target, and if you're in melee range of your enemy, then it immediately blows up on them and gets damage off. I'm going to get Jace for this guy, swap him real fast, and yeah. And there's a lot of really cool tricks you can do with volatile spiderling, so I'll explain those when the game gets underway. And her E cocoon, it's basically a line skill shot. You just send it out. You can send it out in a 360 radius around you. It's pretty fast travel time, and if you hit it, you stun your enemy for 1.5 seconds. So a very vital part of her kit, and hitting a cocoon oftentimes will assure death on your enemies. And then, like I said, when she's in human form, she has one set of abilities, and when she's in spider form, she has another set. When she's in spider form, she gets a bunch of little spiderlings that follow her around and auto-attack the same target that she's on, and they all deal damage that scales up with your AP and levels. Every time you level up your ultimate, the on-hit damage from your spiders scales from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40. So that's really nice. In spider form, she has Venomous Bite. It's basically the opposite of Neurotoxin. It's a melee range targeted nuke, and you can use it on anyone in your radius. You leap on them, you bite them, and you deal a very high amount of base damage plus a percent of their missing health. So your Neurotoxin deals a percent of your target's current health, and then Venomous Bite does a percent of the target's missing health. So basically, Neurotoxin is used to chunk someone low, and then Venomous Bite should be used in conjunction with Spider Form to secure the kill on them. I'm going to explain the rest of her kit, but I'm going to break down her runes and masteries really fast here while I still have time. So for Elise top, I'm going to be running Hybrid Penetration Reds, Armor Yellows, MR Blues, and Move Sequence. I really like Hybrid Penetration Reds on Elise because she does a high percent of physical and magic damage, and getting as many auto attacks as possible during that time in the laning phase really adds up. Move Sequence to dunk on your melee range opponents who are not going to be able to get in range to get auto attacks off on you. For example, this game I'm laying against Tryndamere, so I should have a really easy time in dueling with him. And now I'm going to go into my masteries. Of course I take Flash Ignite, Flash for just an all-around very useful summoner spell, and Ignite to secure the kills on the people that I'm going after. My masteries, I'm going to load them up real fast here, so while the game loads. I take 1 point in the Ignite mastery. That gives me bonus AP and AD while my Ignite's on cooldown, so that's going to add up very easily. I'm going to take 2 points in Butcher to make my last hitting ability easier early on in the laning phase. Elise doesn't do that much magic damage, or that much auto attack damage. She has very low base AD, so that bonus for damage to creeps actually helps you secure a lot of early last hits in the laning phase. I'm going to take Scaling AP and Magic Penetration so that I can be as strong as possible. Like I said, all her abilities deal for the most part magic damage, so getting that magic pen is going to be really vital to doing as much DPS as possible. And then I take 2 points in the Armor bonus mastery, 2 points in the MR bonus mastery, 4 points in the Scaling health. That's going to eventually give me a bonus of about 120 health into late game, and while Elise doesn't get passive MR and Armor from her Spider form anymore, the health is definitely going to be very useful, and it's going to scale off any resists that I may purchase. I'm going to take Unyielding and Block. That's going to reduce 5 auto attack damage in every trade that I go for, and right now I'm against Tryndamere, so being able to mitigate the damage he deals is going to be very vital to my success. And then I'm going to take 3 points in Tenacious. That extra tenacity is going to make me much more prone to getting away from CC, and their team has Zyra, Nautilus, and Varus, so they have a lot of crowd control, and I'm going to be very lucky to be able to dodge out on most of that net damage. I'm going to take 1 point Defender, 1 point Good Hands. Good Hands is going to reduce my death timer, and when I get into late game scenarios, that 6-7 seconds that I'm going to be less dead for could honestly allow me to swing the whole pace of a game and come back really strong. And I'm going to take 1 point Honor Guard just to make me extra tanky. On Elise, I generally like to build a lot of health, whether in the form of Rylai's Crystal Scepter or Haunting Guise, so that extra 4% effective HP is definitely going to add up. Alright, and let's see here. I'm going to take a Fairy Charm. I'm going to be building that Fairy Charm into really whatever I want, but I think I'm probably going to be going for Spirit Stone into Spirit of the Spectral Wraith this game. I'll explain why I like Spirit of the Spectral Wraith so much as the game progresses, but let's just get into the rest of my items, and then we'll talk about that. Alright, so I'm going to pick up Fairy Charm, 4 health pots, a ward, and 2 mana pots. I actually almost went 3 mana pots just because Elise goes very easily early game, but I think for the most part, 2 should hold me off well enough to do well against Tryndamere in lane. And then 4 health pots, of course, it's going to just top off my HP. Trin is probably going to be starting with a Reju Bead, 5 health pots, and a ward, so I'm just going to be looking to match up the Stain with some of my own. And then, of course, I'm going to pick up a Sight Ward to be able to get vision early of the river, of the chokes that I could get ganked from. Nautilus is a very strong ganker, so if I have vision of the river, it's going to be much more difficult for him to come and try to get a kill on me. So, level 1, I'm going to go Leash for my jungler, help him kill these wolves, and then do a bit of damage on blue. Elise is really good at killing buffs. Of course, her ability is doing percent damage. My Q right now, Neurotoxin, it's going to be doing, let's see, about 100 to blue buff. It caps at 60 at level 1, but it scales up with time. And my spiders can actually tank a bit of this damage for him, so he's not actually going to be taking any DPS, and that's effectively a Smiteless Leash. I left a little bit early as to not miss out on too much EXP from these creeps. I'm just barely going to get back in range. I didn't quite get that melee last hit, but I got the EXP for it. And Tryndamere started Class 5. He didn't build up any Fury. A lot of times Tryndameres will often build up Fury by soloing double golems and then come into lane with 35% crit chance and try to make plays on you. But right now, Tryndamere, level 1, not that strong. Should be fine against him. Alright, so I'm level 2. I got W at level 2. The reason I got W is because I had an EXP advantage, so I wanted to try to push it as far as possible. E is generally the safest ability to take at level 2 because you get your stun available, you get your repel, and it's going to be hard for you to get ganked. But I think right now I'm going to go and ward this here in case Nautilus chooses to gank me. On Elise, I generally wait until I hit level 3 before I spend a lot of mana harassing people down with my Q. He's trying to trade me. He's fighting me in a creep wave though, so I can just back up and start poking him with ranged auto attacks as he tries to get out of lane. I have a ranged advantage on him, which is something that you'll get on a lot of champions as Elise top lane. Just because a lot of top laners are melee champions, and Elise can bully them pretty hard if she can keep them out of their harass radius. So right now, Tryndamere is trying really hard to make plays on me. Gotta be careful here. I still don't have repel. If I had repel here, I would probably have gone all in for that, but I wanted to be careful and didn't want to play too risky. I think he's probably backing here. I had ignite and my full combo up, but without repel, if he got like a lucky crit on me, he honestly might have been able to secure the kill. And Tryndamere back here already. I'm just gonna stay in lane, push it out as fast as I can, and I'm not gonna quite be able to push it up to his turret in time, but I should be able to get. Oh, he stayed. I actually took a second point W just to be able to shove it faster, because I figured I'd be able to get as close to 5 as possible before he returned to lane, but I didn't expect him to stay that long. So I still don't have Repel. I'm only taking it at level 5, but generally it's often a very safe call to just pick it up at level 2. There's really no trade-offs. I think Trin is going to back. If he stays in lane, then I can harass him so hard on the turret. It's not going to be funny. He stayed. Right now I should normally have 1 point in W, 1 point in E, and 3 points in my Q. So the fact that I got a second point in W probably wasn't the best idea. But Trin is actually running out of health pots very soon here. He has 1 left. I have 2 mana pots still to surplus my harass, and keep poking him with Qs. If I get him low enough, then I can easily dive under his turret and pick up a kill. Elise is really, really excellent at diving turrets, and Trinimir has yet to level 6. So he's going to be a little hard pressed to survive. Got a little overzealous there. He saved his E for when I all-in him, and he just backed off. He's like about to hit level 6. I'm just going to push out and back. Could have played that a bit better, but I'm just going to take the safe route, go back to base, and pick up some gold with this. I pick up some items with this 1,100 gold that I have under my belt. So I'm going to go back here, pick up a Duran's ring, boots, a bunch of health pots, an extra ward, a bunch of mana pots, and 1 extra health pot, and run back top. I didn't have enough gold for anything significant. I could have gone double Amp Tome and started working on the Hextech Revolver, which I eventually want to upgrade into Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. But I think Duran's Ring is going to be a fine early pickup. I'm just going to use it to try to bully up Trinimir early. Elise, while you don't want to build her full AP, I think in my opinion she's best built with like sort of 1 damage item. You rush it early. I like to go with Spirit of the Spectral Wraith just because of how powerful it is on her. It gives her some much needed spell vamp, some much needed AP, and of course the health and mana regen definitely surplus her kit. After they nerfed Neurotoxin to where the mana it costs you per level scales up, I actually really like picking up an early mana regen item on her. So whether it be Morellonomicon or Spirit of the Spectral Wraith, I think it really helps her not going But anyway, Trend is level 6 now. He's got quite a bit of damage under his belt. That was really weird. That stun hit him while he was spinning, but I don't think he actually got stunned. I could have just not seen the animation, but that kind of threw me off. Anyway, I'm going to push this up, try to get the creep wave under Trinimir's turret, and if I can get it under his turret to the point where he has to balance between harassing me and managing to pick up all the CS, then I should be able to get a lot of free damage off on him, just because he's going to be preoccupied getting all these creeps, and since I have a range advantage on him, I can just go ahead and poke him with Qs in human form, and if he gets close enough, I can switch to spider form and go for a quick trade like that. Although he spun onto me, he actually came out a little bit behind off that trade. He's got quite a bit of sustain though, so he should be able to be okay. My ignite's down for another 35 seconds, but I think once that comes up, oh my god, his ult just faded, so I misplayed there. I basically wanted to wait until his ult faded and then Q him for the finisher, because that Q lowered him to 0 health, but since his ult was still ticking, Trinimir was unable to die there, and I went down. Unfortunately, I did not want that to happen, but it did, and we will work past it. I'm going to pick up a ward here, a health pot, and a Spirit Stone. Spirit Stone is going to give me some health and mana regen. I'm building that into Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. I need about 1,300 more gold, and that's going to include my Hextech Revolver. Once I get that item, I should be able to stay in lane indefinitely and harass Trin really easily. But right there, that was pretty bad. Magnite wasn't quite up yet. It was going to be up in like 10 seconds. The correct play actually would have been to just wait until Magnite came up and then all in him to try to get a play off. But, oh well. I'm going to freeze the lane here. Our CS is pretty even. I'm behind around 8 right now. Most of that is due to my death. But I'm just going to try to freeze the lane near my turret and force Tryndamere to try to overextend. I still do a lot of harass to him, but he's going to come back with, I think, maybe a Bilgewater Cutlass. So his sustain is actually going to be quite significant. As of right now, I have level 4 Neurotoxin. At level 9, I'll max strength my Q, and I'll be getting a lot more harass off in exchanges. But, ooh, he got Avarice Blade. As of right now, he's pretty strong. I should be able to kill him again, though. Magnite's up, and he blew his in the last exchange. So I'm not that worried. He's got really good sustain, though. Vamp Scepter plus probably Lifesteal Quince, plus his constant Q heal. Could be dead. Nautilus Hook is going to be up soon. He popped his ult, though. My spiders are blocking Nautilus from getting a hook off, so Nautilus blew his ult, and he waited there for quite a bit, I'd assume. But I was still able to get away, so that actually ended up working out really well for me. I didn't have flash there, so that could possibly have gone badly. Tryndamere has built up a lot of Fury. I have to be careful here. And his ultimate is also back up. Pop a Mana Pot, and just wait for the creep wave to push into me. I want to get most of this farm before backing. He might try to set up a dive on me. Tryndamere, like I said, with that ultimate, he can really do whatever he wants without having to fear for death. That is the power of the champion. But I'm catching up in CS. I think he's going to back here. He might have stayed. He might try to get a sneaky spinning slash off on me. But I think I'll be okay. But anyway, on Elise, let's see. Do I have enough? Yep, I have enough. So I'm going to back here. Going to pick up that Spirit of Spectral Wraith. You don't have to rush it by any means. I just think it's a really, really strong early item. It's actually designed for junglers, but in my opinion, it's just so good on Elise that it's very acceptable to get it as your first pickup. The extra 20% spell vamp allows you to stay in lane for a really long time. Elise has 2 major single target abilities that deal a lot of damage in Venomous Bite and Neurotoxin. So getting 20% spell vamp off of each of those procs is going to be really valuable. Additionally, the increased damage to creeps, which is not going to come into effect in the laning phase, is going to be really significant once you start pressuring global objectives with your team, like Baron and Dragon, because Elise with a Spirit item just destroys like Baron buff. It's pretty crazy, and that makes your team much more powerful in the grand scheme of things without really sacrificing much of your own stats, because Spirit it only costs 2k gold, but the stats are so efficient that it's actually worth it on champions that don't even jungle or take smite, and that's why I'm picking up this game. Anyway, I'm gonna keep pushing this up. I have not seen Tryndamere for a bit here. I'm gonna keep pushing, and again, even though the last trade I had sort of did not go very well, I still want to take advantage of my strong kit. Elise excels against melee champions because oftentimes it's very hard for them to trade with her due to that range advantage she has. Tryndamere doing quite well. Sort of acting as an exception to the rule here. I'm going to drop a ward in the river. I'm going to walk into the brush before I place it, just so I don't exactly telegraph what I was doing. This guy is quite strong. So he actually came out behind off that trade. He popped his Bilgewater Cutlass. I think he thought I was trying to fight, but I was just trying to bait out his abilities. And getting that Bilgewater Cutlass, it's on a 90-second cooldown, so that's actually pretty significant. I'm just going to push up, see if he stayed under turret. This guy stays a lot. Oftentimes I'll think he's going to go back, but he actually just stays in lane and tries to sustain up, which is something that Tryndamere is really good at doing, just because of how powerful his Q plus lifesteal is in conjunction with each other. I have about 800 gold now. I think he went back to buy. I've pretty much caught up on CS here, despite my early death. But I actually think Nautilus and Zyra are heading top now. So I'm going to back up a little bit here, at least until I see what Nautilus is doing. My Warden River will give me vision of this area, but I don't have vision to try, and Noct could be anywhere around these parts, so I gotta be careful for that. Just gonna exchange with him, drop him to about half health, and try back out. Wow. He just like 100 to 0'd me. He might die to this gank, but I'm not sure. He still has his ultimate available. Oh my god. That Nocturne key just burst him down. That was quite interesting. Alright, so that was a bad exchange. I still had Repel available. I didn't think he'd get the 2 crits in a row off on me, but right now, I don't think he had Brawler's Glove when he was back. I think he just picked that up. But he had full stacks of Fury, and he had Avarice Blade, so he had about 45% crit chance. So that was actually sort of likely that he'd be able to land that, and I should have probably just repelled to the creeps earlier to wait for my team. I'm going to go hold mid right now. They are pushing it up really fast. I think I should be able to hold it off. I picked up a Giant Spell just because I want to get a bit tankier. I eventually like picking up a Rylai's out of that Giant Spell, but for now I'm just going to sit on it, and hopefully it'll allow me not to die. My team is pushing up into their base. No, I got out 2 ultimates. I used Flash to survive, but it actually wasn't that bad. I'm like trying to be winning this. Oh, he had barrier? What the heck? Alright, picked up a kill onto him. Graves is moving on mid right now. I'm trying to help. He doesn't have any CC. I gotta be careful here. And I'm probably gonna repel to dodge the passive up. Spider Form wasn't up in time. So I picked up 2 kills there. I didn't realize Vladimir had barrier. That almost got me off guard, but Zyra wasn't in position to follow up with any CC, so I was just able to wait it out, go back in, pick up a kill, and I get away with my life, so that worked out quite well. I have Haunting Guys in about 80 gold. I'm probably going to pick up Haunting Guys next because it gives AP, health, and magic penetration, and magic penetration is really valuable on Elise. The reason it's so good on her relative to other champions, and by no means is magic pen bad on anyone that deals magic damage, but the reason it's hyper efficient on Elise is because her Q in both human and spider form deals percent of your target's health damage, and getting that percent as close to true as possible is going to be really effective in terms of allowing you to deal maximum damage. So I'm going to pick up Haunting Guys here. So I now have 15 magic pen under my belt. I might go for Sword Shoes next. They have quite a bit of CC on their team, so normally that would warrant some sort of tenacity upgrade. But I think for the most part, I might go Mercs. I still have to figure it out. It depends on the next fight goes, how much gold I get. They're forcing Dragon right now. I'm trying to move on it. Got a nice grab onto Vladimir. Oh my god. That worked out so badly. I thought he was pretty much dead. I got a Q off, he lived with like 10 health, and then I got CC locked by their team. Probably shouldn't have gone for that. I was trying to zone out the Zyra and the Varus while my team killed Vlad there, but that ended up having quite the opposite effect for us. He has Barry, I think he should just run. He has red buff. Oh, Jace coming in. Jace can clean everyone up there. Vlad's dead to the Ignite tick. No, it's probably going to get away. They picked up Dragon there. They're going to get away with that one. Nocturne, no ult, but Zyra just straight up walked into him and died. That was a little bit questionable. Anyway, got my Haunting Guys now. I'm probably going to be getting Merc Treads next, and then I'll probably transition into Rylai's Crystal Scepter. The reason I think Rylai's is going to be good this game is because they already have... Oh, I'm trying to help this guy. No! There it is. The reason Rylai's is going to be good this game is because they have Tryndamere and Nautilus, two melee champions that can get kited really hard by my abilities. And since Rylai's applies on Voltot, Spiderling, and Neurotoxin, and all my magic damage abilities, I'm going to be in a really good spot to just kite them out. Like, Tryndamere tries to Zerg one of our carries, I'll just pop Rylai's abilities on him. He's going to be slowed by 35%, and he's not going to be hitting our backline very easily. Nocturne got caught out slightly. They're going to push mid up. Me and Jace can two-man top. Actually, Jace is really low. I could push top out by myself, and I think I would win on a 1v1 versus Tryndamere. They might go for Baron here. We have to be able to contest it. Yeah, they are. It's going to be a little bit tricky. Let's see if Blitz can get a grab off. We need to contest this now. Damn, they got Baron. I'm backing up. I went for the Vladimir there. I actually probably could have went for the Baron. My Venomous Bite does about 300 damage to Baron if it's about to die. So I could have tried to outduel the Smite, but that probably wasn't the best call. I think what happened was fine. They got Baron, but in exchange we picked up a bunch of nice kills, and we're going to be able to pick up those kills and take a free top inhib, I believe. I was really low, so I had to back out, but I think that'll work out nicely. Anyway, once I get Rylai's, I'll probably upgrade my Haunting guys into Leandri's Torment. Leandri's Torment is really, really powerful when your abilities are applying CC, and the reason for this is because Leandri's deals spell damage to, or anytime you deal spell damage, it deals bonus magic damage that basically bleeds for % of the enemy's max health or current health. So if you hit someone at full health, it's going to be ticking them really low. But if you hit someone at like 10 HP, it's going to be ticking for like 1 damage each burn. But it deals double damage when your target is CC'd in any form. So that could be stuns, slows, snares, roots, whatever. And if you have Rylai's, then all your abilities are going to be applying that crowd control. But they're also going to be applying the double damage due to that passive effect. I'm actually going to hide here and see if Varus wants to walk into the brush. If he does, then I should be able to blow him up. Even though he does have Blazing Ring King. I don't think his ultimate's available though. Oh, they're just 3-manning mid. They have Baron on 2 people, I believe. I'm gonna push this out. If they keep going really hard, then I'll back. And I'll even pick up Home Guard boots to get to the fight faster. But I think I can just actually push this out for now. Tryndamare's bot. He's pretty strong. He's building up his Fury. I'm just going to go away from him and push up mid with my team. We traded 1 for 3 in the mid fight. It was a 4v4. Me and Tryndamere were both split. But let's see if we can get this pushed up. Okay, I'll back. I don't think you could get more than that out of turret. Actually, Blitz is bot. Alright. We should be able to get inhib. A few people up. They're actually all up now. I think we got it. I'm back here. No, I'm gonna die. I was trying to stall. What the fuck? They went the wrong way. Oh, the jukes! There it is. Alright, I guess I'll get away with that. Oh, sorry for the language. Alright, I'm gonna back here. I have Realize in about 300 gold. Once I pick that up, it's going to be a lot harder for them to make plays like that. Like right there was 4 people grouped up. I could have hit them with a volatile, and most of my team probably could have gotten away. But instead, a few of us went down swinging. But I managed to get away by the skin of my teeth. And pick up a blasting one here, work on completing Rylai's as soon as possible. I actually could have picked up my Leandries there, but it's not worth rushing before I have Rylai, especially because their team doesn't have that much max health built. Leandries is most effective against teams that stack a lot of just flat health, like Giant Spells, Warmogs, Randuins, and don't get much MR, because it does a percent of their current health, and if they have a lot of current health, and not much MR, then it's gonna hurt them a lot. But if you don't have Rylai's completed, then I probably wouldn't get Leandries on Elise, unless they're just stacking like a ridiculous amount of health for no reason. I'm gonna move on this guy. He has no mana. I don't think he has flash either. I think they got him. I'm gonna keep moving on them. He should be dead. I'm gonna keep going. I have no repel. Picked up a kill on him. And let's see. Push it up. I have enough gold for Rylai's now, but 3 are dead. We might be able to get Nexus Certs off this, potentially even more than that. I don't know, we'll see. And we probably can end it here. Oh. Get him! Ah, he died. And I guess that's going to be game. So, that was a pretty quick game. I made a misplay or 2 in lane, which definitely cost me. But my team played really well, and I managed to stay even in CS after dying to Tryndamere, which definitely helped me get back into the game. I did not manage to complete my core, which I was shooting for Spectral Wraith, Rylai's, and then I was going to get Leandries, and then tank items after that, because I have enough damage from that I don't need to really build much more AP. I could eventually get a Void Staff if their team is stacking a lot of MR, but for the most part, after that, I probably would have gotten like maybe even a Randuin's. My armor values were really low that game, and that would have shut down Tryndamere and Varus in team fights pretty effectively. It wouldn't do that much against Vladimir, Nautilus, and Zyra, but for the most part, Nautilus and Zyra weren't doing much damage, so I don't really have to itemize against them specifically. And then yeah, probably Void Staff and Randuin's to finish off my build. But it was a pretty well executed game. I would have liked to have made some cleaner plays early on in the laning phase, but I think it worked out pretty well. For the most part, I think my biggest mistake that I could have improved on was I should have just skilled up Cocoon at level 2, because that prevented me from getting level 3 Neurotoxin at rank 3 Neurotoxin at level 5. And if I had that, I would have easily pushed Tryndamere out of lane, because he had no health pots. He was sitting on cloth armor, and he was at his turret. But since I had rank 2 of it, I actually sort of owned myself trying to pressure him out of lane. And when I went for the kill combo, I blew Ignite. He lived by like 150 HP. He spun out of my kill combo, and that sort of got in the way of me snowballing the lane to victory. But as you can see, even if you're behind on Elise, you can do a really good job of staying in the game and getting back in it. Her kit is amazingly versatile. You can do a lot with it if you know some tricks. I got some nice jukes off that game by repelling to a creep in the back line, or flashing over a wall and repelling to a creep that was further away. And you can tool people out for a long, long time and relieve pressure off the map for your team by making plays like that on Elise. But yeah, for the most part, Elise is just a very, very fun champion. She has a playstyle similar to Jace and Nilly, I guess. She has 2 forms, Spider form and Human form, which you can switch between at your own at your will. Her abilities all deal high amounts of damage, and she has built-in CC from Cocoon, which allows you to lock down a target, squishies in team fights, and just blow them up, whether from your damage or your team's damage. You can also build her sort of like a tank and just go for the base damage on Neurotoxin and Venomous Bite, and just completely rely on your stuns, which is sort of what some jungle Elises do. They don't build much damage, they just go like Spirit of Spectral Wraith or Spirit of the Ancient Golem into like an Iron Solari and like a Bulwark, and even then you can play Elise and still be really, really effective. So for the most part, she's just a very fun champion. You can play her in many roles, and you can do a lot with her if you know what you're doing. So that's probably why she's one of my favorite champions right now. I love playing her into like any matchup, and even after the nerfs, they removed the armor and MR from her spider form. I still think she's really, really good, and definitely viable.